It's actually not. Well, I could call it Larry OS or Art by Robot OS. I'm not sure. Kind of in between. Why you got to reinvent the wheel every time you do something? It's really not because you're copying the instructions to make a wheel, so you're not reinventing it at all. You're just making a wheel, and that's way faster than inventing a wheel. If I if I were to really reinvent the wheel, I would try to create an operating system without reading anybody's help or any books on it, without following any tutorials. I would try to figure it out without, in other words, I'd try to invent it. Um, to be able to make it would give you a deeper understanding of it and full power, full customization, which you don't have on Windows or whatever. I'm making my own OS. What do you mean? What OS will this be used for? Oh, what will this OS be used for that I'm making? Basically, my goal would be to try to use it for personal use instead of Windows someday, maybe. Um, maybe have it be able to interface, maybe um, running alongside Windows, maybe giving me access to things Windows won't allow me to access, maybe. Um, Not sure if that's possible. Um, One big thing was like maybe it could enable me to like run video games on it, and then I could turn the video game graphics super low so they can run on old computers. But that would be, I don't know if that's realistic now that I'm learning more about the operating system development. I don't know if I'd ever be able to get a game to run on my operating system. But that would be ideal. That would be a goal. If I could do that, then I'd be able to run modern games on old computers. And I'd turn the modern game graphics down to Minecraft level. And so I'd have the power to do that if I was the maker of the operating system, I believe. And that would enable me to bot modern games to make money or just to train my AI without having to buy nice computers to bot them on. Just super low end computers could bot like 10 modern games simultaneously on a super old laptop because all the settings are turned solo. And then I know, and that's a great way to train AI as well as to make money as a video game botter, which is something I've done in the past. Another use would be to run my robot's AI on my own operating system, which would make it more of a real-time operating system. So I'm not taking a performance hit by running my robot's AI over Windows, which is not meant to be a real-time operating system. So I can make my own real-time operating system, which is preferable in robotics. Most robots run on like Linux, I guess, which I guess is faster than Windows, some people say, I guess. But if I ran my robot on my own OS, I could make it faster than them both, because I could optimize it to my specific needs or something. Also, if you can make your own OS, you can definitely code microcontrollers way better, um, which would obviously be a huge advantage rather than trying to install Windows on a microcontroller. You'd be able to install your own operating system onto them, and that would enable you to basically be able to code anything you want on like all kinds of different lower level systems for like smaller robotics projects. You'd be able to code like ARM microcontrollers and stuff using your own custom operating system, which would run on those types of microcontrollers, like a Raspberry Pi or something. So there's a lot of applications that this could help me with. in robotics, and in artificial intelligence. But obviously, it's optional what I'm doing. I don't have to do it this way. I could just use Windows or find an operating system and learn to use it and code my code on top of it. But as I said, there's a lot of advantages if I could manage to get this all working. Okay, I don't know if it's realistic time-wise. I don't know how long it takes to make an operating system. I don't know enough to like know if what I'm doing is dumb or it could be genius. I don't know. Maybe a simple operating system is very doable and it wouldn't take that long and it would help me a lot. Okay, let's see. There's this one and then this one. Okay. I can't believe RAM like writes all the data backwards. You would think like the zero address of RAM would start your program or your data, and then the gazillion address of RAM would end it. But it's the opposite. You start your data or your program at the gazillion address, and then it runs from right to left. So like the top of the program where you're adding things to is getting to be a smaller number, a smaller address. That's just so counterintuitive. It's so dumb. They had to do it that way in the past, but you don't now, but that's how people still do it. Maybe I should change that, could I? I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can. Not unless if I created my own compilers, I guess. My own language. I'm not going to do that. I'll just use C++ and regular compilers. Nice. What is going on with my highlighting? 9216. Okay, so video 7 will verify this. What the heck? No, 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 I closed this.
In this video, we're going to...
27,648. Twenty-eight thousand bytes. I got 9,000 bytes. I could solve. I could resolve this. Come on. 38, 3800 KB. Oh, 8700 KB. Oh, that's wrong then. $38 million? No, no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong. Eighty-seven 25 KB. Adam could be built on Temple OS. That's possible. I considered that, but I don't know. That'd be kind of funny though, wouldn't it? I I would tell everyone my robot, which is the most advanced robot in the world, in theory, like if it ever got that good, is built on Temple OS. That would be like the most trolly funny thing, right? Yeah, guys. You do have to take into consideration what Wilsden just said. Larry only has to code as much as needed for Adam to then code the rest, and it's the same thing also with Adam's build. I just have to build enough of Adam to then have Adam build the rest of himself. So it's much easier that way for me because Adam does the legwork. Well, that's true. Yeah, I have to code enough code for Abel to be able to build the rest of Abel, who then will finish building Adam, the fiberglass robot. The bank balance query, I didn't think I should answer that because like if you tell everyone what's in your bank, that could that's like kind of like asking people to like want to rob you or something, right? It just seems like something that nobody should do in general. Forbes does it. That's true. I don't know. I would have to consider that. My general policy is not to say that because like wh- where where do I win? Like if I say a huge number, you'll be like, "Oh man, I really need help financially." And if I say a super small number, you'll be like, "Oh, what a loser." And so like I feel like it's a lose lose to share that information in general. I don't hide anything from the IRS. I learned a long time ago not to do that because my grandparents said it's dishonest, and so I used to work like contracting under the table work for cash for years as a handyman and stuff, and I never paid taxes for years. And then one day I got convinced paying taxes is like more ethically required, so then I paid back taxes estimating my income for like years and years, and I had to pay like 5 times the amount because of late fees and stuff. So I audited myself. It's not a matter of somebody judging me for my bank. Well, I mean, if it's too low, yeah, somebody could judge me. That's true. So that's good you wouldn't judge me on that. But um, the the bigger concern would be if whoever, because everyone, it's relative. If you have like $500 saved and I have more than that, you'd be like, "Whoa, you're rich. Can I have your money? Like, can you give me a loan?" And then if you have like a million saved and mine's way lower, then you would think like, "Oh, I'm like way behind or something." I don't know. Reclaim garbage in a 3D print. That's the best way to fix stuff. Actually, I've kind of done that. This guy had a hole in his drywall, and I actually stuffed like a bunch of newspapers and trash and like some dirty clothes into the wall, and then I started mudding over that, and I like filled the hole with mud with that as like the backing. So one day, like if he tore that wall down, he would see like a whole bunch of trash in his wall. I didn't remove the squares command. Nightbot's just not added to my chat anymore currently for whatever reason. So, and I haven't bothered to like set it up again. I don't know why Nightbot left. I guess he just decides to leave if you haven't been streaming for a while. I pretty much am in construction with my own home improvements. I look like a contractor. Well, I am pretty much. Oh yeah, Adam's gonna be able to do home improvement, remodeling, all kinds of stuff like that. Dirty underwear. Actually, I've done that many times. I've just shoved a bunch of junk in a wall and started mudding over it. Because like the mud sticks to the drywall around the hole, and so like just having something to stick the mud onto is the key. I think now what I do, sometimes I'll use tape. I like put masking tape across the hole and stick it on, and then I'll just start mudding on the masking tape. Um, or I'll like just take a stick and I'll put it in the hole, and then I'll like put a screw on both sides, and then the stick just kind of fills most of the hole, and then I just start mudding over that. It's just something to get the mud started to hang on to something. You found my channel from the cabinet fall? Oh wow. That was in 2020, actually. There's actually a pretty good YouTube video that kind of went viral about the cabinet fall. It has like music playing over it. Oh, you first convert to bytes. 8 million bytes, then we multiply this by 10 to get 89 million bytes. Therefore 10 times. Okay, that's how many bytes we want our kernel to be able to be in size. Oh, a gigabyte's 4 billion bytes. Okay, I didn't know that. That's helpful to know. Okay. I thought it was a million bytes, and I was like, man, how are these files gigabytes long? That can't be right. Oh, we actually were close before. That's good to know. I wasn't that far off. He's taking his dear sweet time. The heck is he even doing? I'm glad I don't have to learn how to convert bytes to the hex. Let ChatGPT do that dirty work. Wait, what is it? What's the terminology? Why is it a billion bytes now? We calculated something way smaller earlier. What the heck is going on? His math's always wrong, guys. I think maybe we could do it this way. Oh, come on. You won't let me use commas? Just code it so you accept commas, you idiot. 7C00 plus this. 89 million bytes. That's what we wanted, right? 89 million bytes? Yeah. Wait, 89,362,000. Look, 89,331,000 versus 362,000. So it is, the 62,000 was the 7C00 offset. That's 62,000 bytes from 0. So that looks right. Wow. Let me read this from the beginning. The stack is located in RAM. Thirty-one 744 bytes. Okay. That this answer is completely wrong. What the heck? What the heck? 0xb8000. 753,000. Wow. Wait, why does hex value of 1000 make 4096? And hex value of 1000 make 31,744 here. You guys see this, right? Why is it giving me two different answers? What the heck? You guys see that? What in the world, man? That's insane, right? I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm getting sabotaged by buggy software. What the heck? How can someone have a hexcalculator.com and it calculates different answers two different times you ask it the same question? How? Since when does a calculator ever do that? That's insane. It's making me get confused. I'm still new to this. I don't need people giving me wrong information all the time. I'm not going to program a hex calculator. No. I'm not going to be thinking about this much in the future, I don't think. Oh, it just shows you, though. You guys ask, like, why reinvent the wheel? Why would you make your own hex calculator? Well, here's a perfect example of why you'd reinvent the wheel, quote unquote. Because idiots made the wheel, and you need to do it yourself if you want it done right, in some cases. Okay. Wait, what the heck? Zero X B800. B8000. Heck? Okay, that's just bugged, man. That's bugging out now too. What the heck is going on? Oh, man. Okay. What the heck? Nope, don't want it. Oh, this one. Oh, I know what to do. Okay. Let me just... This guy's code was the best. Best code ever. Why? Because he wrote boot.asm in one file. Although he did write one other file, but it only has like 3 lines of code. I like that. Like, I don't like following somebody's gazillion lines of code garbage, man. I'm putting all my favorite bootloader code. What the heck? Putting all my favorite bootloader code into my bootloader code file. So like every tutorial that wrote a bootloader, that wrote like a really good bootloader, I'm gonna put in one big file. But it's all commented out. With assembly language, you put a semicolon to comment instead of like slash slash like C++. And so I can have a to-do list in it. I can have all the different code I want, and then I'll have my actual bootloader at the bottom. And then this way, um, we can compare them line by line. Like I can go here. No, I can go here. And then I can go here. And I can be like, okay, my code says bit 16 is the first line. Theirs says, oh, they skipped bit 16. Guess you don't need it. So then I could remove this or just leave it and just make that decision or ask ChatGPT, like, why do some people leave this out? Do I have to include it? Maybe that'd simplify. So I just compare. I'd say where I got it from here. And we'll just be able to compare everything. And that way we can like work through like who did the best stuff, who has the best comments. And like see all of our options. Because I can't remember it all. And then we'll put next section in to mark like a label. Okay, so that's a section. And then at the top, we'll have all of our sections, just like we did here. Actually, I'm just going to copy all of this. To there. Okay. Semicolon. Get rid of this. Okay, and then we'll do Oh. How is ChatGPT doing all my work? I wouldn't say he's doing all of it. Did I just start streaming again, or have you been missing me? I would say I kind of recently, within the past 2 weeks, started streaming way more. I was streaming like maybe 1 hour streams, maybe up to 2 hour streams once every few days, but I've gotten heavily into coding recently, and that's something I definitely can stream, and I've been coding a lot of hours, so that means I've been live a lot more. Because, like, I started 4 big coding projects back to back. Because, I can't stay on one project for too long. I get, like, this drive to start other stuff, you know. You know how I am. So, first I started coding Adam's AI, I think. No. First I started coding a SFTP client. And then I was like, oh man, I should start working on Adam's AI every other day. So then I started working on Adam's AI, and I made great progress on both of those for like a week or two. And then I was like, you know what? I should start working on creating my own computer graphics library. No, not computer graphics library. I should work on creating my own 3D computer graphics from scratch, not using a computer graphics library at all. So I'm not going to use OpenGL. I'm not going to use DirectX. I'm just going to code the 3D graphics directly in the video card by using OpenCL to send commands and run programs on the video card. So I'll be actually sending my own programs on the video card as kind of like function calls, and the video card will do what I tell it to do to make calculations. And yeah, I'm going to create my own rendering, my own everything. It's going to be so cool, and I have it all planned out. And I made great progress already. I can't wait to work on it again. And so I was working on that, and I was like, man, I should start working on my operating system again. I haven't worked on it in 4 years, so then I got onto that the past like 4 days. I'm supposed to keep juggling them, like a little bit on this, a little bit on that. So I'm working on these 4 mega projects all at the same time in a juggling fashion. Okay. Oops. um, okay, then I want to include my special, this is special to me. It was my first Hello World program in assembly that worked. This actually wrote Hello World to my screen. I was blown away because unlike a console output of Hello World, this thing actually wrote Hello World like without an operating system. It was just Hello World. That's it. Like there was no Windows, there was no Linux, there was no nothing. It was just my code running on a computer, a desktop computer. That blew my mind. And I loved it. Okay. Um I think we should include a couple more people's stuff too. Oh, um, oh wait, we gotta name that section too. This was, how was I? I was super excited when I found out about ChatGPT and started using it and saw how good it was. Okay, so that's another example. I think it's really good to have a bunch of bootloaders on here as examples. It's just going to be excellent. Because I was tired of like trying to like find everything in different files. It just got insane. Okay, let me see. Boom. Okay, this is all the examples we wanted. Um, okay. So, what the heck? Yeah, this code is beautiful, man. Super well documented. Loved it. Okay. And this one. Okay. And then, so we have OS reference main, I guess. Which one was that? Or was it? Yeah, OS reference main was our best. That's why I have it set apart on the right here. Um, OS master. This one's pretty good. Put this next. Um, Okay. Okay. And then let's get it going in. Bootloader.asn. Okay. App Store for Atom? Oh, for Atom OS. No, I'm not. I'm not distributing Atom OS to anybody. It's just personal use only. Well, at least that's the intention now. I guess that could change. Because, like, wait. let's say like one day my project was famous and people were like, "Man, I want to try out Larry's operating system or something." Then they'd be begging me to make it public or something. Then I might do it, I guess. That's not really the point, though. There's already enough operating systems with Linux and Windows that people don't need to have mine. But if they're like just curious, they just want to like try it, then maybe I would. But I mean, I'm not thinking that far ahead. This is not that important to me compared to the robot and stuff. I just think it's really good for me to, get something basic going, just see how I feel, see how hard it is, just get an idea, and then see if I want to keep going. But I definitely have reasons to build an operating system. But the question is it worth it? How much is really involved? How long does it really take? I don't know. Like, that's what I'll find out by taking this journey. Hello.asm and bootloader.asm. Oh, hello.asm. Uh, kernel.asm. And actually, just like understanding all these different tutorials and just implementing them, like implementing aspects of them I like. I mean, basically, it's fancy copy pasting with a little bit of research and understanding, learning. Um, it's kind of like a little coding adventure. It's not that serious necessarily. It can get very serious if I find out, like, you know what, I'm successfully doing this. Let's go all the way. We're gonna make full blown operating system. The robot's gonna be on it. I can do this. It's worth it. I can do it in a reasonable time frame that I find acceptable. I'm willing to take the risk of the opportunity costs involved because everything you do that's a lot of work is like a risk. Like, am I ever gonna finish this? That's a risk. Is this going to cause me to not finish things I could have finished? And so I'm sabotaging my future and my potential. That's a risk. There's a cost. And so you have to decide, like, am I willing to pay the price? You have to count the costs before you really go all the way in. But right now, I'm not all the way in on this one. I'm like 50-50, still on the fence, just feeling it out. And even if I stop now, I already learned a ton. I learned how stacks work. I learned a lot about assembly language. I learned how to use a hex editor. I learned how assembly can call C++ code and then C++ code can call assembly. I learned that you can run assembly script actual lines from within your C++ code. Um, I learned how to install a Debian Linux GNU toolchain on Windows that can be used from command prompt to use Linux commands within Windows. I learned how to write bins to a USB. I learned how to write a bootloader to a USB. I learned what the sectors on a memory device are and how things are stored on devices, memory devices. Um, I learned how to recover a corrupt storage device by pasting in or writing in with Win32 disk writer, being able to write in a new sector 0, which has like all the partition information about a device, and then it's able to be read again if it's a corrupted device. It's a really cool trick. Um, I learned what it is to have a corrupted device, why it's considered corrupted, even though it's not really corrupted. It's just they call it that because it's missing the Sector 0 info header. Um, I got a lot better at using the command prompt for stuff. This is good practice. Um, I got better at using the compiler from command prompt instead of from my IDE, just pressing F9. It's good practice with that, understanding how that all works. I got a lot better, I think, at interacting with ChatGPT, just learning what's its strengths and weaknesses. Just anytime I spend a lot of time with it, I'm getting better at just using it as a tool, mastering the use of that as a tool, little by little. Um, just learning how to actually write an assembly code program and then compile it, and then running it on a processor, that's very good. That's, as a matter of fact, even just doing that could be big time good for coding my own microcontrollers in assembly, or even just maybe you'd run a bootloader on that in assembly, and then that would load in your C++, and I could actually just like code microcontrollers in a very raw way with assembly in C++ rather than using the Arduino IDE. I'd be able to just bypass all that and write to my Arduino IC chip directly. That'd be pretty sick. Actually, I think my operating system might run on an Arduino already. I think it'd be way faster than running on top of whatever the Arduino IDE is creating. Because that could be a little bit slower than what I could do, but I think it is kind of fast. Though I don't know if that's necessary, but it's just something potential I could be doing in the future. I'm not sure though on that because it is 8-bit, and I don't know if we're producing stuff that runs 8-bit stuff, but maybe it would run on 8-bit. Not sure. Um, yeah, actually, we probably could use g++.exe to compile a C++ program into something compatible on an 8-bit microcontroller, actually. So that could really open up some interesting doors to skip the Arduino IDE, which is kind of buggy. I learned how programs are loaded into RAM from a storage disk. They're actually loaded into RAM before they're ran. And then all the variables in the program are added to a stack. I think the stack is special just to that program. I don't think it's like a universal stack. I think each program has its own stack. And then I learned how stacks are filled. And so now I think I get a little bit more what a stack overflow even means and why that happens. And why declaring like an empty array after all of your variables can prevent a stack overflow from even throwing an error so that you can get away with it without your program crashing, which is something I've done in the past, but I didn't really know why it was working. I had no idea what was going on. I just noticed when I put big arrays at the end of all my variable declarations, I wasn't getting program crashes as much. Now I know why. The stack overflow was just pouring all this extra data into these big arrays, which weren't then writing it into protected memory or something that would like throw an operating system error. So I'm seeing like in my mind how that actually works in like in memory on RAM. Like I can see the RAM in my head based on like looking at hex editors and stuff. So I'm starting to understand computers and software at a much deeper level just because of this project. Just from 3 days, like I'm really going to a deeper level as a programmer. So even if I don't end up making my own Temple OS or whatever, um, I'm learning a ton, which is going to help me as a programmer. Plus, I mean, they even said if you want to learn programming, learn assembly first, then learn C, then learn Python. That's what George Hotz said. So it's like I'm kind of going back and filling in knowledge gaps because I just started right away with C++ and I never learned assembly and I didn't know anything about stacks or anything. I barely even know what a pointer is. So I'm starting to like get how all this stuff works, what it all means. This is going to help me really understand better like if I read a C program. There's going to come a point here in the near future where I'm going to be opening like OpenCV's like open computer vision library and like trying to understand their algorithms and implementing them into my own computer vision libraries. Because I don't plan to use OpenCV or anything else. I'll just be using other people's code concepts and then coding it all myself so I understand it more deeply and I have more control. And I can make it lighter weight and optimize it and create it very specific to my use case. So for me to understand deeper code in general is going to help me a lot, and this is bringing me a lot more understanding of code in general. This project. No, I don't think robots need to have soft haptic skin to do surgeries. They can already have sensory input without feeling through skin by just measuring current flow. Even the slightest touch, a little current spike would be detected, and then it'd know it just touched something. So it would just be able to measure all the current flowing through its motors to detect when it's actually contacting a thing. And so it wouldn't actually need sensory touch sensors then. Well, maybe for like extremely light touch that would be good though. Where the motor wouldn't even feel it yet, but the skin is starting to depress. So that would be like feathery soft touch it could enable maybe. Why would you write assembly but then use ChatGPT? I'm only writing a little bit of assembly, just enough to set up some variables that are necessary to load in my C++ code. So it's not like I'm going to do like extensive assembly code. You're actually not able to just start with C++ in a bootloader for an operating system. So that's why you have to use some assembly just to get things rolling. No, you have to learn quite a bit in order to like design your algorithms and stuff. ChatGPT doesn't like write everything. ChatGPT helps you a little bit. Maybe like 20% of your code will be made by ChatGPT. And that's if you're like an extreme user like I am, constantly having ChatGPT get involved. So you have to know what you're doing. ChatGPT writes a bunch of bad code too that doesn't even work. Okay, we're in there. So that's the Hello OS master. Now we'll do the begin OS one. Okay. This guy's code is super short. I don't know how he got it so short. And yet I assume it works since it was a GitHub tutorial. So this will show like how short your code can get away with being, which I think is very useful to know about. That will show you like how much code fluff is in there with other people's stuff. And so that will be helpful to like to know like what you really need and what you kind of don't need but is nice. So this is called boot.asm. Okay. Hello.asm, kernel.asm. Whoa, this. What about bootloader.asm? Forgot that one. Oh. Yeah. Actually, that's fine. Okay. So that's done for him. Uh. Okay. You're saying my room got more messy? No. There's no way. Is this an intervention? think it's this one. Bootsect.asm. Okay. And then let's see. So print.asm comes in first. Okay. And then after print comes print hex.asm. Okay. Okay. Even though this one is more involved, he gets way further. So I definitely want to follow this full tutorial. He goes far. He gets video card drivers, everything. Um, he really gets his operating system becoming like an operating system, whereas some of these other ones were real just basic. He goes pretty far, but not too far. I don't want somebody's operating system that's been like years in development, and it would take me years to like figure out what's going on. I don't want that. I want simple, but like this is a little advanced end of simple. A nice launching point. So I'll definitely be able to benefit a lot from this guy's stuff. Okay, that's print hex. Then we'll have disk.asm. I don't feel lost anymore. I know I can do this. I'm like very confident. Everything's going great. ChatGPT screwed me up on some stuff, but I've like read now like a bunch of tutorials off stream, and I've watched like some building an operating system tutorials on YouTube, like start to finish, or one tutorial start to finish, one a partial. And seeing the entire thing start to finish explained, and it's like the mysteries all the gaps are starting to fill in, all the mysteries are starting to be answered, and now I'm starting to get like a broad understanding of everything they're talking about. It's no longer sounding like Chinese to me. It's starting to all come together and all make sense. And now if ChatGPT tells me something wrong, I'll know in many cases. Trust me, ChatGPT cannot code a whole operating system. He's gonna tell you wrong stuff at some point. He can help you with some stuff, but he's also gonna mislead you a lot if you don't know what you're doing. You have to be able to guide him quite a bit, holding his hand. What's cool is by putting all these together and I can compare them all, I'll find commonalities. And then I'll find where people diverged. And I'll be able to learn from each commonality and each divergence and why people diverge. Whether or not I might want to diverge in the way some people diverged. It's really just going to open up way more understanding than just following one tutorial. This guy is kind of annoying because he breaks up his bootloader file into like 12 files. It's so annoying. disk.asm. Oops. Wait. 32-bit underscore print.asm. Oh. Print hex.asm. So print, then print hex, then disk. Print, print hex, disk. GDT, print, print hex, disk, GDT, 32-bit print. Okay. Okay. And then switch PM is the final. It took a while, but glad we got it done. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. 32-bit print. Let's see, the other one's 32-bit print. Then this has to be switch PM. Okay. Alright, we got disk.asm, then gdt.asm, and then 32-bit print. Okay. Switch PM. Okay. So that's all of his assembly code. And then he calls this CPU. Why? It's weird. Okay, what is this? Nah, we don't need that. Okay. I don't like interrupts in general. I'm not going to use them. Hey, Logical. I'm making my own operating system today. I've been working on it for like 4 or 5 days. Just um, planning to for sure do a very simple operating system and then see how I feel about it. See if I want to keep going. It's tentative. I don't know. Maybe it'll end up being full-fledged, amazing operating system that I use as my only operating system and I don't use Windows anymore. Or maybe I'll just, use it for like programming microcontrollers or something. But it's definitely a great learning experience as a software developer. I'm getting a much deeper understanding of code and assembly language and stuff. Okay, so that one's fully done. Now it's this one. Okay, let's go. Same. Alright, so then that's never mind. We already did that one. It's the same guy who made it. I didn't realize that. So we're actually done indexing this file just about. Okay. Now I want to just... Oh. I can just close these out. Wait a minute. No, that's my code. What the heck? Oops. Okay. My self-taught, or did I go to college? I just learned this in 4 days, the last 4 days. As far as like following tutorials, having ChatGPT was the main thing. I started asking him like a bunch of stuff. But actually, I started making the operating system 4 years ago. I spent like 1 day on it, and I learned a little bit, but I didn't get anything to happen on my screen or anything. But I still made some headway on some basic notes from like a tutorial I was reading. I just took some notes, and but I never got it to work. So I'm just coming back to it 4 years later to work on it again. So this is a very low priority project. We're making my own operating system. It's like a just a goofball troll, like just silly. Don't really expect it to go anywhere. And the only reason I feel the luxury to even work on it is because I've just been making so much progress on all my other stuff lately that I'm rewarding myself with working on something that's super low priority that pretty much like I basically can hardly even justify even doing this with my time. But because I've been so productive lately, I can afford to just blow some time on something that is like something I am like basically wasting time to even work on. I'm allowed to do that as a reward for being insanely productive the past like 3.5 weeks. It's like if you were so productive, like you bought a house, you flipped it, and you made $100,000. Maybe you would say like I'm gonna take a whole month vacation now. I'm literally not even gonna work for a month because I just busted my butt, worked like 80-hour weeks for 6 months, flipped a house, made $100,000. I'm just gonna straight up take a month off of work. That's kind of what this is for me. It's like just a for fun project that's really not important to me, relatively speaking, but it definitely has a lot of upsides. A great learning experience, and possibly could lead to something more. But maybe it most likely not. Most likely, making operating system just takes way too long. It's just not worth your time. Just use Windows or use Linux. Just don't do this. This is dumb, type of thing. But even to make like a bare bones operating system and start getting it to do stuff and work, it can be thrilling and exciting and a huge learning experience, and could just really help you as a programmer when you code in higher level languages because you kind of know it's behind the scenes a little bit more. So I still think it's a great thing that people could do as a learning project. So because this is such a low priority type project, I would say like I would only want to work on it like for 2 days straight or up to a week straight, 1 week of working on it once every 4 or 5 years. I put in a few days of work or a week of work on it. So this is not like every other day, year in and year out, I work on it. No, that's like only for a project that is my highest level priority project. This is extreme low priority project, so it's only gonna fold into my juggling act once in a blue moon for a little while. I doubt I would be a CEO. Okay, let's see. So let's start out just checking what we have so far against some of the other big boys. I decided not to do that because I don't think we'll ever use more than 4 gigabytes of RAM ever on this operating system. I just don't believe it. If I get to the point where I'm using more than that RAM, then this operating system blew my mind, way exceeded my expectations. If that gets to that point, then I can make the necessary changes because I'll be so advanced at this if I'm getting to that point that it will be easy to make it a 64-bit operating system. It will be easy to make those changes because I'll be such a beast at operating system making. So because no tutorials hardly at all make 64-bit mode, and because it'll be something trivial for me to do in the future, I'm sticking to just 32-bit protected mode. So I'm taking that off my to-do list. You know what? I'm not going to use Kimu. I was just thinking I should use Kimu, but no, I personally, what I'm thinking is it would be more satisfying for me to every time I want to test the operating system, which is not going to be constantly. Might be like a couple times per day I work on it, which is probably not going to be that many more days anyways. I don't mind burning it to a USB and then putting it in my laptop and booting from the USB on my laptop. I don't mind doing that. So I don't need to run a virtual system to test it on my Windows machine. I don't need to do that. That for me that would take away some of the magic of like getting to see a computer without an operating system run my operating system. That's part of the magic that makes this fun. So I don't want to do a virtual machine. It's like if I wanted to see something pop up on my normal desktop, I would just write "Hello World" as a console output in a regular C++ program. If I want to see something happen with no operating system on a computer, then I want to boot from my own operating systems fully, not simulate that, but actually do that. That's my own preference. That's how I feel about it. We need to prioritize. Kind of true, but I guess I do have a loose priority. You know what? I want to clear out ChatGPT. I ask too many questions. I like to like keep keep it lean because I like to review old threads we had, conversations. So if I'm asking too specific of stuff like this can be deleted. I try to keep more of the high level conversations we have. So I'll clear out some of this and then I'll. Okay, I'll get rid of that. I already took notes on it. Okay, I can delete that. Oops. What is ChatGPT? It's like an AI chatbot that is 1,000 times better than anything that's ever come before it. And you can literally ask it questions about anything and it will give you usually the right answer about 80% of the time. 20% of the time it makes up stuff that's actually wrong, misleads you, and leads you astray, and you're really in trouble if you don't know what you're doing. And it's going to screw you up a lot, set you back. But 80% of the time it tells you exactly what you want to know. It actually is about 100 times better than using Google search to me because Google is just full of ads and scammy stuff and blogs, and you have to read for an hour just to find the answer to your question. This gives you the exact answer to exactly what you're looking for immediately. You don't have to read and read and read pages and pages of Google and then somebody finally says what you're looking for. This gets rid of all of that. It is actually 100 times better than Google. if you want to waste a lot of time just checking search result after search result, Google's good for that. Now, some stuff's fine on Google, like what is 1 plus 1? It'll just say 2 right away. Like, when Google does this, like, just pulls up a calculator and just, when it gives you your results at the top like this, or like if you say, like, net worth Chris Hemsworth, sometimes, like, it'll just say it right there. You don't even have to, or like sometimes it'll have that breakout on the right hand side if you look up somebody. When Google does stuff like that, this little breakout that you know about for people, that's super fast. But if you're gonna say like something too specific, um, it starts to fall apart quickly then. When it says load it into memory, it's talking about RAM memory. That's important to know. I didn't get that at first. I thought it was going to load it into memory. That's another clue. It loads it from your USB or hard drive into another memory spot. It's loading it. So the second memory spot is talking about RAM. I don't think ChatGPT fully understands that aspect either. This is actually worth keeping because he did a good job, I felt like. I want to be able to test it. Normally he doesn't write code that long. Usually he breaks it off. So he wrote an entire program for me in one shot. Normally he just writes like part of a program or writes a bunch of pseudocode and expects you to do the work. This time he was generous. I think it was because it was like one of the first questions I asked it on a Sunday morning when nobody was really using ChatGPT. So the developers allowed ChatGPT to write a way longer answer than he normally is allowed to do. Like in such cases where there's a high load on the system and a lot of people are trying to use ChatGPT at once. And in those cases, he'll only write short answers and he'll take a long time to write the answer and stuff like that. So when there's like a low load or low demand for ChatGPT, he'll like give you crazy long Nice. So this way I'm not wasting anything, but I still want to get rid of a lot of these threads with ChatGPT. It just got too much. So we're just saving like key stuff he told me, especially when he wrote like a lot of code for me. So we can experiment with it, test it, try to implement it a little bit later on. Just saving it in my notes. Am I using Linux right now? No. It's Windows 7 Classic Mode theme. Using AI to create AI. That's how it should be. Are you kidding me? That's the best way. In fact, it's going to go way further than that. So I'm using AI to help me to create AI, but I'm also going to be using AI to interface with my AI to teach my AI using another AI. So my AI is going to ask the other AI, hey, what do I do for this? Or, hey, how can I better write this sentence? Or, is this a noun or a verb? It's going to talk to the better AI, have the better AI be like a coach or a teacher to it. And that way it will like actually learn from other AIs that are better than my AI until my AI catches up to them. You little baby! Gotta be! You gotta be, Wolfie. Cheeser! Okay, my wife's saying I have to start babysitting now, so I gotta call it here. We made some good progress. I'm getting really organized is the main thing. Alright, peace out, guys.